Taijuan Walker finally emerged and showed all of the potential that the Mariners have been waiting for.
Yeah, the 22-year-old, had an ERA of over 7, but Kluber got the Indians started off on the right foot with 13 strikeouts in game 1 of this series, and he had excellent stuff, and then followed up by a 22-year-old with a high fastball that he was throwing by hitters. And the thing that helped him out was they were calling the high strike last night. So tonight they're going to have to turn it over to Sean Markham, who has had 2 starts this year, 1 good one, 1 bad one. You can see in his career 1 and 2 against the Mariners. And Elias, the left-hander, is starting this year against the Indians. They beat him last year. They scored 5 runs in his 6 innings, and another left-handed pitcher for the Indians.
So far, both low-scoring games, and as we've come to know with Seattle, they're a team that relies on the home run ball. All of their runs so far in the first 2 games have come via the home run. Jason Kipnis has played every inning of every game for the Indians so far this year. Is there a break in sight? Andre Knott joins us when we come back to explain. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by WB Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. By your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud sponsors of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. Beautiful evening here in the Pacific Northwest as we welcome you inside Safeco Field here in Seattle, getting ready for the third of this 4-game series between Cleveland and Seattle. Indians come in 22-26 after losing last night. Mariners at 500 on the year, 24-24. Jason Kipnis sitting on 49 hits, 29 runs scored here in the month of May, best in the majors with a .445 average. Let's go down to Andre Knott. He's also been the Indians' Iron Man this year.
He absolutely has. We're getting ready to play game 49 of the season, Matt. And in every single game, he's played every single inning. And we know the days of Kyle Ripken are most likely gone in baseball. And Tito Francona has tried twice this year to sit down Jason Kipnis. Jason told him on Friday night, he goes, hey, our best pitcher's on the mound. I want to be in the game. Tito said okay, and he let him play. The plan is right now for Kipnis to play tonight, get the numbers that he wants to get, and sit tomorrow and then be able to sit on Monday when we're on Kansas City in an off day. If he doesn't get those numbers, look for the Iron Man to continue playing until he gets the numbers he's looking for. But it tells you a lot about a teammate. He told me today, he goes, I want to be there for my teammates. I want to play as much as I can, but a break is needed and is coming soon.
Well, yeah, and he's sitting on 49 hits, 29 runs. He gets to 50-30. He's in very, very rare company.
Well, and good for him. He's worked so hard for it. He's having a great month. You hate taking a day off when you're playing so well. A lot of times you like to take it when you're banged up or you're beat up. It's not that he's not sore, but his swing is so grooved right now. I wouldn't want to take a day off either if I was Jason Kipnis.
All right, we'll be back with tonight's first pitch between the Indians and the Mariners coming up next. Tracking it. What a catch he makes. Still going back. Makes the catch. And Ramirez goes out and makes the catch somehow. Way back gone. Oh, my goodness, he made the catch. Wow. Back here at Safeco Field, ready to go. As we take a look at the Indians starting lineup for Terry Francona, presented by Progressive Insurance. Jason Kipnis leading it off, followed by Mike Aviles. Michael Brantley hits third. Then it's Rayburn, Swisher, and Gomes. Moss. Jerry Sands gets the start tonight in right field batting eighth. Jose Ramirez will hit ninth.
Northern Ohio Honda dealer's starting pitcher is going to be 26-year-old left-hander Roanis Elias, making his seventh start. He is 2-1 with a .256 earned run average. He has made one start against the Indians, that coming last year, and that was a loss. He went 6 innings, gave up 6 hits and 5 runs in that ball game. Walked 2, struck out 2, and gave up a home run.
And we're ready to go as Elias lets it fly, and it's in for a strike to Kipnis. Off the outside corner. And quickly 0-2.
He slings it up there from the left side, about 3/4. Pitches off the first base side of the rubber.
And Kipnis punches it in the air to center field. Austin Jackson cruising in. One away.
Let's check out that defense for the Mariners, which is brought to you by Chrysler. In the outfield, it's going to be Ackley, Jackson, and Cruz. On the infield, it's going to be Seager, Miller, Cano, and Morrison. That's the first start for Cano in the series, and Zunino is behind the plate.
The crew chief, Jeff Kellogg, has the dish tonight. Porter, Ripperger, and Hoberg on the bags. And a fastball strike into Mike Aviles. And Elias coming out throwing nothing but strikes. Off-speed pitch misses, and it's 1-1. Aviles hitless in the series to this point, 0 for 5. And just in off the plate with a fastball.
Well, let's see what the strike zone is going to be tonight. The first game, it seemed like it was down in the zone. Yesterday, it was a high strike.
And that's out of play. There's Taijuan Walker, who pitched a gem last night. Best game
sure
really
did.
so far in his young career.
22 years old, got his first win ever in this ballpark. He was very good. Just 2 hits, 8 strikeouts, did not walk anybody.
And Mike Aviles punches one into shallow right center field for a 1-out single here in the first. The Indians have a base runner. Window Systems game time temperature 72 degrees under clear skies. Once again, the roof is open. Just a beautiful evening. Not much, if any, kind of breeze at all.
I don't think we could have had any better weather coming up here for 4 days in Seattle than what we've had to this point.
Just so refreshing. 1 on, 1 out for Michael Brantley. Pitch outside, ball 1. Brantley tries to pull it through the hole, and it'll get by Cano. And Aviles aggressively hit the bag. He was thinking about third base, but
I think he was smart.
Cruz, with a pretty good arm in right field, was on top of it.
Well, that ball's in front of him here, too. I mean, Michael, he didn't hit it all that hard, but he placed it beautifully. You see, he had to skip. And usually if that ball is right like that, you're not going to go. And he wasn't that deep in right, so Cruz got to it quickly and able to hold Aviles at second base. But they have runners at first and second. A nice job by Brantley finding the hole.
2 on, 1 out for Ryan Rayburn. Rayburn delivered the Indians' only run last night with an RBI triple in the 9th. Ball 1 down low to Rayburn. Two balls, no strikes. Ryan batting .292 with runners in scoring position. The bulk of his at-bats have come this year against lefties. He's 1 for 10 against right-handed pitchers, but
he's done some damage to the lefties.
Almost a .350 average against left-handed pitchers, and that's been a big turnaround for the Indians offensively this year.
It sure has. You remember last year we were talking about Ryan, where he was putting swings on the baseball but fouling everything off. He's center cut this year.
Well, he's 3-0 in this situation.
Yeah, I'll tell you, so far for Francona, the combination of Rayburn and Murph, David Murphy, have paid dividends. They've both done a really nice job doing what they're called upon and asked for, coming off the bench, pinch hitting, platooning.
Rayburn cuts and misses. Back-to-back off-speed pitches by Elias. He falls behind 3-0, and instead of trying to power his way through it,
back off.
Well, the old adage is if you throw it 3-1, you throw it 3-2. Does he go triple up, though?
Well, let's see.
He did, and it's ball 4.
Well, Rayburn didn't get caught up in the situation, and he was patient enough to take it.
Well, let's quickly check out our keys to the game, brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Early runs important when you've got good pitching on the hill. And for Sean Markham, stay out of the danger zone, the nitro area. Nick Swisher will be the batter with the bases loaded and 1 out.
Well, the table is set right here in the first. Bases loaded, just 1 out. Good opportunity to jump right up on top.
Swisher with a line drive right center field, and Cruz makes the running catch. Tagging is Mike Aviles. He's coming home. He will score, and the Indians will take a 1-0 lead. RBI number 7 for Nick Swisher, who hit it hard and plenty deep enough to get that run home from third base.
Yeah, that's for the Indians, that's their 23rd sacrifice fly, which is actually leads the league in that category. Get the job done. It's a free at bat there. Nick Swisher, nice line drive to right center.
And now Yan Gomes with a 2-out opportunity. And takes a strike. Gomes was 0 for 4 on Thursday night in the series opener. Foul right back. He's 1 out of 10 since coming back from the disabled list.
It's going to take him a little while to get comfortable in the batter's box, I'm sure, but as he's working his way around the field, starting to hit some balls to right field, getting back into the swing of things. It was Gomes that took this guy deep last year in his start.
And he's rung up to end the first. But the Indians get a run on 2 hits. They leave 2. Cleveland 1, Seattle coming to bat. Seattle's starting lineup for manager Lloyd McClendon is brought to you by Toyota. Austin Jackson leading it off, then it's Seth Smith, followed by Robinson Cano, Nelson Cruz, Kyle Seager, and Logan Morrison. Mike Zunino, Brad Miller, Dustin Ackley rounded out.
Northern Ohio Honda dealer starting pitcher Sean Markham for the Tribe, 33-year-old right-hander, his third start in his career, 1-2 record, 377 earned run average against the Mariners. And he'll be making his first appearance and start against Seattle since they faced him when he was a member of the Blue Jays back July 27, 2008.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jackson a swing and a miss and an off-speed pitch. Oh, and 2 the count. Ran it up high, 1-2. Jackson has collected a hit in each of the first 2 games so far. Shoots it foul. And
for Markham, a big difference so far this year with between lefties and righties. Right-handers hitting 133 against him. Lefties hitting 318. He's given up 5 home runs this year in his 14 and a third innings. That's when he has to stay out of the middle of the plate.
That's a rocket shot to left coming in. Rayburn trapped it, kept it in front of him, but it'll be a leadoff single for Jackson.
Well, I like what Rayburn did. He realized he may not catch it, but he kept it in front of him. He was going to be close, so he goes on his stomach to try and make a catch. He can't make it, but he kept the ball in front of him and holds Jackson to a single.
Well, we apologize for our satellite transmission problems that we're experiencing right now. Guys are working hard to try to resolve the issue. But for now, I guess I understand that we are without picture. And we do have audio, so we transfer to radio mode now.
All right, start singing.
Seth Smith, left-handed hitter, steps in. Mariners DH. He's 2 for 6 with a home run in the series. That home run was last night, counting for Seattle's only runs off Trevor Bauer. A 2-run shot. They would hold on to win it 2-1.
It was unfortunate for Bauer. The only mistake he really made was that cutter that Seth Smith hit out, and he said after the game it was just a bad pitch. I shouldn't have thrown the cutter there in that situation. Bad time, bad pitch, and it ended up costing me a ball game.
In the top half of the first, the Indians loaded the bases on back-to-back singles and a walk. Nick Swisher got the Indians their lone run on the sacrifice fly. Pitch to Smith is on the outside corner at the knees. And it's 0-1. Markham keeping a close eye on Austin Jackson, the runner at first base, who's held on by Moss. Jackson has 6 steals. He's been caught 3 times. And the Indians employ a 3-man shift on the right side of the infield as Markham lobs a toss over to first, driving Jackson back to the bag.
Well, Jackson was caught last night, if you remember. Bauer on the mound. He just started running. Bauer ended up stepping off and throwing it to second base and getting Jackson. Thought he had him timed.
Runner goes. Markham deals, swing and a miss. Throw down to second base, and they throw him up. Second base umpire Mark Ripperger makes the call. Lloyd McClendon's out of the dugout. We might have a challenge here.
Yeah.
It was a bang-bang play at the bag. Question is, did Jackson get his foot in before the tag of the man covering, which was Mike Avila?
He might be safe. I think they
Jose
will challenge
Ramirez,
that.
And they're not going to challenge. Seattle decides not to. As we get a look on our replay, it looked like it was very close.
It was. He had a very good jump.
Looked like maybe the tag hit the leg just as the foot was hitting the bag, so it would be difficult to get that one overturned. So 1 out. Jackson caught for the second game in a row trying to steal.
We said that a couple times last night. It'd be tough to get that overturned. So Seattle not catching a break when it comes to the close calls here in this series, at least to this point.
1 ball, 2 strikes, the count on Seth Smith. Sean Markham works on the extreme first base side of the rubber, kicks and winds, lets it fly, bounced in about 3 feet in front of the plate. And it's now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Smith with 5 homers, 13 driven in on the year. He's doubled 10 times. And he's added a couple of triples as well. Markham again into the line in the 2-2. Weakly tapped up the first baseline, and it's going to slither foul. And Smith will return to the home plate and try again. One down here in the bottom of the first. Indians on top 1-0. Again, we apologize for our satellite transmission problems that we're experiencing right now. We will definitely keep you apprised of what's going on, but unfortunately, no picture at this point. Again, the Indians with 3 on the right side of the infield. The third baseman, Mike Aviles, is playing up the middle on the shortstop side of second base. The line in the 2-2 by Markham and a big chopper towards first. Moss gets it on the in-between hop, takes it to the bag himself, and there are 2 down.
Let's take a look at the Indians defense, brought to you by Chrysler. Behind Sean Markham today. In left field, it's going to be Rayburn. In center field is Brantley, and over and right, Jerry Sands gets the start. It'll be Aviles at third, Ramirez is at short, Kipnis at second, Moss is at first, with Gomes doing the catching.
Robinson Cano, left-handed batter, has not played in the first 2 games of the series other than to pinch hit 1 time. And he takes ball 1 inside off the dish. Cano batting just .251 on the year with 1 homer. 13 runs batted in.
Cano has faced Markham 17 times in his career. You figure when he was with Toronto, and Cano with the Yankees.
Cano's home run productivity dropped off dramatically last year. His first year with the Mariners, hit 14 homers after belting 27 the year before with New York.
I think that right field porch in New York makes a difference, huh?
Yeah, you're not kidding.
And you come out here to a pretty fair park to pitch in Seattle.
Markham has fallen behind Cano 3 balls, no strikes, with 2 down and the bases empty here in the first. The right-hander lets it fly, catches the outside corner, and it's 3-1. Should Cano walk, you've got Nelson Cruz waiting on deck. And a 3-1 pitch is just a little bit outside, and it's ball 4.
It's funny, Cano took off and walked on the 3-0 pitch like it was a ball. He called that one a strike. He stayed up there and he was waiting for this one, thinking it might have been a strike, but now he goes to first base. The umpire calls a ball.
Yeah, it was close. Looked like it might have been just off the plate, but it also looked very similar to the previous pitch. In any event, a 2-out base runner for Seattle brings up Nelson Cruz. Cruz, right-handed power bat, .342 average with 18 dingers, 38 driven in. Markham out of the stretch, fires, and a fastball for a strike.
Yeah, 3 hits in the series for Cruz, all singles. But I mean, that's the amazing thing about Cruz this year. He's hitting for average as well as power and driving him in. When you look at the Triple Crown categories,
18 home runs, tied for the major league lead with Bryce Harper of Washington. Swing and a miss by Cruz. Good off-speed pitch by Markham. Took just a little off, and Cruz swung right over the top.
Well, that's what Markham does. He takes a little off, puts a little on, he slows it down. His range is about anywhere from 78 to 88 miles per hour. But he'll cut it. He tries not to throw it straight, and he tries to stay on the edges.
Now Markham sets, turns, and fires to first. Cano back standing. I understand that our transmission has been restored. Thank you for patiently waiting it out. There's a pitch just off the outside corner.
Little teaser there. 74-mile-an-hour curveball.
Got him looking. Cruz is rung up to end the inning. No runs, one hit, one man left. Cruz got caught watching the fastball. One nothing Cleveland as we go to the second. Bottom third of the Indians' order will be due up here against Roenis Elias. Brandon Moss homered in the series opener. And takes a called strike.
Elias this year started in AAA, and he was recalled from Tacoma on April 26th. He's got a nice little streak going too. Has allowed 2 or fewer earned runs in 14 of his last 16 major league starts dating back to last July, which is pretty impressive. Of course, when he's been on the mound, the Mariners have not scored a lot of runs.
Moss fouls it off to the left.
The Indians had that opportunity in the first to do a little bit of damage with the bases loaded. They did get one across.
Yeah. Upstairs, 2-2. When the Indians score first, they're 15-6 on the year. Good check by Moss and a full count. Jerry Sands waits on deck. 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. So Moss did a good job of patiently waiting him out. Gets aboard to lead off the second inning. Here's our AT&T U-verse rewind. If you missed it in the first, our picture issues. Rex Swisher with a sacrifice fly, getting Mike Avila's home from third, giving the Indians their first and only run to this point. And Yan Gomes throwing out Austin Jackson in the bottom of the first. Jerry Sands digs in, takes a called strike. Sands called up when the Indians placed Carlos Santana on the paternity list, and from all indications, Santana will rejoin the club tomorrow for the series finale. With more on Santana, let's go down to Andre Knott.
Santana currently is on a plane right now, fellas. Now, he can't play tonight, but the plan is to have him in the lineup today. He's got everything taken care of at home. The baby's home safe and sound, and everything's good. He'll be in the lineup tomorrow, and he'll be in the lineup Tuesday when we're in Kansas City for the trial.
Jerry Sands says don't hurry back just yet. That baby is gone to the Mariners bullpen. Jerry Sands, what a year he's had for the Indians. Not many opportunities, but boy, has he taken advantage of the ones that he has had. That's his 8th hit in 19 at-bats against left-handed pitching, and he jolted one to make it 3-0 Cleveland.
On a 1-2 pitch. You know, Sands is a guy that looks the other way. That looked like a little breaking ball coming down and in. And he dropped the barrel head of the bat on that one and gave it a ride to left center field into the bullpen. So that's a 2 spot. They have 3 on the board already.
Charging in from third, Seager with a nice bare hand grab and throw to retire Jose Ramirez. First out of the inning.
That's the 6th home run given up by Elias. And there it is, down in there. That was either a little slider or a cutter down and in. Boy, and he got to it. It didn't get in, did not get inside enough.
Well, Rick, you remember that game that Jerry had against the Tigers back in April?
Yes.
When he had 4 RBIs in his debut.
A couple of big doubles.
Pitch inside to Jason Kipnis.
So much for that 2 or fewer runs in 14 of 16. Now make it 14 out of 17.
Yeah.
Because the Indians have 3 on the board here in the second.
Well, it's one thing to score first, but it's another when you score first and then add on quickly.
Yeah, sure is.
Keep that momentum on your side. Now Jason Kipnis sitting on 49 hits for the month of May. And it takes a strike. It's 2-1. Pitch to hit, rip, foul right back.
Yeah, he had a nice cut at a 3-1 fastball and fouls it off. Good pitch to hit.
And a 3-2 to center field, where Austin Jackson makes the catch. 2 down. Here's our stat of the game, brought to you by Buick. 50 hits and 30 runs scored in the month of May. Since 1914, those are the only 2 who have ever accomplished it. Ty Cobb in 1921 and Al Simmons in 25 with the Philadelphia Athletics. Interesting, we went back and looked because I just wanted to be sure. Kipnis has done this out of the leadoff spot. Neither one of those guys were leadoff hitters.
Right.
Mike Aviles with a pretty good swing drives one to center field, but Jackson cruising back makes the catch. Jerry, big Jerry Sands drives one out of here. 2-run shot in the second. It's 3-0 Cleveland. Jerry Sands helping the Indians to an early 3-0 lead here with his first home run of the year. It's the only game he's played, only first at bat he's had since he was called up to replace Carlos Santana.
Well, he certainly took advantage of it, that's for sure. Right man in the right spot.
There is Kyle Seager leading off the second for Seattle. 1 out of 7 thus far in the series. As Seager lines one to right field, that's a fair ball. Hit it over into the corner. Jerry Sands trying to dig it out. Seager's got 2, and he'll hold with a leadoff double.
Okay, second straight inning that Seattle has had the leadoff man aboard. This time it's a double for Seager, his 10th on the year. No surprise to the Indians. This guy just continues to get base hits. He was shut out in game 1 of this series, but he's going to lead it off with a double here.
Well, up comes Logan Morrison, who has 2 hits in the series. Strike call. Fly ball, center field, shallow. It's Ramirez who goes out to make the catch, the shortstop. And we've got 1 away. Injury report brought to you by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk. Steven Strasburg on the DL with Washington. Sean Doolittle for the A's is down, and Scott Feldman. That could be a huge blow for the Astros, who are off to such a tremendous start this year. With one out, Mike Zunino, the batter. He takes a strike. I was talking before the ball game with Seattle third base coach Rich Donnelly, who's been in the game a long time professionally. He said, our hitters are down right now. He said you can just sense it. The confidence is lacking a little bit. And he said, I understand it. But he said, I've been trying to pump these guys up a little bit, saying, hey, look. The last 3 starts, Chris Archer.
Yeah.
He's second or third in the league in strikeouts. Then you face Corey Kluber, who's a Cy Young Award winner. He said, that guy last night, Bauer, he's among the top 10 in strikeouts per 9 innings. So he said, not nobody needs to panic right here.
Oh, and by the way, you'll see Salazar tomorrow too, fellas, who's right there. The Indians have 4 of the top 10 strikeout guys.
Yeah.
So that really is incredible. They can put anybody in a slump. I told you, with those starters, there's going to be teams saying, will you guys please
leave,
get out of town? Hurry up and leave.
Well, Bart Swain tells us the last time the Indians had 4 guys in the top 10 in strikeouts, like the 1950s.
Yeah, you got to talk about, that's right. You got to talk about Score, Wynn, Garcia, and Lemon. And they only had 4 starters back then.
Well, yeah.
Maybe we should go to 4. Just keep it.
Jerry Sands backing up just in front of the track, makes the catch. Seager will tag and go to third, but now there are 2 down.
Live Indians baseball is back in 2015 with MLB.com at bat on your smartphone or tablet. You can stay connected with live radio broadcast, stats, breaking news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball.
So a chance for Markham to get out of the inning now with 2 away. Brad Miller, the batter, 0 for 6 in the series. Miller pops it up, foul, slicing, and that will get just beyond the reach of Mike Avila's second row of the seats. There is Seager, who led off the inning with a double down the right field line.
The Seattle hitters, though, they're 14th in the league in batting average. Yes, he did.
Nothing into the count.
13th in runs. They don't walk a lot. So offensively, they have been challenged. They score from the long ball.
Yeah.
When they don't hit the long ball, they have a tough time scoring. They don't manufacture
the series,
runs.
46% of their runs, and every run so far in this series for them on the home run.
So you look at them, and it's over 47% of their runs have come off the long ball. So that can hurt you sometimes. That's why they'll play a lot of low-scoring games. Their pitching has to be solid, and their starters have been solid over their last 40 games.
Close pitch. Miller turning away, and it's inside. 2-2. Take a look again. See, Miller turns away, and that did not miss by much.
Well, you look at it with the pitch tracker say. Nissan pitch tracker said it was a pretty good pitch.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Markham strikes him out. And the inning is over. No runs, a hit, a man left. We've played 2 in Seattle. It's the Indians 3 and the Mariners nothing. 3-0. The Indians lead it over the Mariners. Third inning, Michael Brantley, Ryan Rayburn, Nick Swisher to the plate for Cleveland. Big curveball, but it misses for ball one. That fastball hit pretty well, but off the end of the bat. A long run by Jackson. Out number one. Our great clip of the game from last night. Ryan Rayburn just beyond the reach of Nelson Cruz. It went for an RBI triple. Indians had the tying run at third with 2 outs. But that's where he would stay as Seattle hung on for the 2-1 win. Rayburn drew a walk his first time up, then loaded the bases. And led to a run for Cleveland. Swung on and missed. Roenis Elias, born in Guantanamo, Cuba. And when he defected to Mexico back in 2010, he left home with nothing more than the clothes he was wearing in a backpack. Popped him up, shallow right. Cruz over near the line. Makes the catch. 2 down. Our Levin player profile on Roenis Elias. He said, I didn't really think a whole lot about defecting. He just did it. More of a spur of the moment type situation. He knew it was the only opportunity he had to better himself, help his family out.
Well, and he's been a part of the Mariners organization for a while.
Good curveball, drops in for a strike. The interesting thing about Elias is that it required some tough scouting because he didn't have a big track record when he was in Cuba. He was used 2 years as a 1 year as a reliever and 1 year as a starter, and the results were just sort of so-so. So you had to kind of look at him and project in your mind what could he become. Which is what Seattle did.
We faced Iglesias with Cincinnati, you remember, and they signed him to a 7-year deal.
A 1-2-3 inning for Elias. Indians in order for the first time tonight. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one on this Saturday evening, to stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Bottom of the third, Dustin Ackley to lead off for Seattle, the number 9 hitter. I would assume someone told Jason Kipnis before the team went back out to the field that the Blackhawks have officially punched their ticket to the Stanley Cup Finals. He knows. I've told Andre said he's aware.
Yeah, that game just finished.
There's a couple of Blackhawks fans there, front row.
They just put them on. They brought them in a bag with them. Waited until it was a final.
Punched him out. Dustin Ackley caught looking. Third strikeout for Markham. So first time through the order, Sean Markham allows 2 hits, walks 1, strikes out 3.
Let's make this our Circle K strikeout. It's a little comeback fastball on the inside part of the plate. He gives up on Ackley, and you can see it come back, and Gomes frames it for him. And crew chief Jeff Kellogg rings him up.
Austin Jackson had a base hit in the first inning. Swung on and missed at a great breaking ball. Weird pitch to swing at first pitch.
It is. Yes, it is, because it's so slow and tantalizing. It's not a pitch I don't think you're looking for. Unless we go here and see what the Jackson had 6 at-bats off him coming into this ball game, and he was 3 for 6. So maybe he was looking for that curveball. Is the only thing I could think of to swing at it on first pitch.
It may be that he's just not not afraid, because I think the first time up it was a 1-2 pitch he got the base hit on. This one's rolled to third. Aviles sets and throws 2 down.
Well, the Indians will host the Orioles next Saturday. That'll be June 6th out at Progressive Field. And you can save on tickets. If you buy lower reserved or a lower box by June 1st, you can save 20%. Plus 17,000 fans will get a Corey Kluber bobblehead. That's courtesy of Sugardale. So go to Indians.com/buy early. That'll be next Saturday. We return home. We'll, after tomorrow's ball game here in Seattle, go off to Kansas City, have Monday off, their first off day in 20 games, or 20 days, I should say.
Foul first base side.
Play Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then head back for the weekend for that Baltimore series.
Markham trying to set him down 1-2-3 for the first time tonight. In the dirt. Cubs and Royals were rained out today in Chicago. White Sox were in Houston. They were blanked by the Astros 3-zip. Angels have jumped out to a 7-1 lead over the Tigers in the 3rd inning in Anaheim. And Minnesota beat Toronto earlier today 3-2. So the Twins have moved to within a half game now of first place in the Central Division. Markham with a 1-2 pitch. Upstairs. That'll even the count. Ball in the dirt, and a full count. Tampa Bay shut out Baltimore today 3-0. The Yankees currently lead Oakland 1-0 in the third. Should the A's beat the Yankees, then Tampa Bay would move into a first-place tie with New York.
Yeah, that division's been up and down a little bit, hasn't it? Because Tampa's been struggling. They had lost, I think, 5 or 6 in a row.
Yeah. Broke his bat, squid to
look
left.
at that. How about that?
And it'll be a base hit for Smith.
Off the end of the bat, cracks it, but it is successful because he gets a base knock. That's the 3rd hit for the Mariners. And with the shift over there, that's how you beat it. A little blooper.
Yeah, we'll bring up Robinson Cano, who walked his first time up. Mariners feel that Robinson Cano has been his own worst enemy so far this year offensively, swinging at a lot of bad pitches that he's been able to put in play. Not necessarily strike out on, but
swing and miss.
Swing at balls that he can't really drive or do any damage with, and so they result in easy outs.
Right. That, yeah, you go through cycles like that, I think, but this guy's been such a good hitter for such a long time. You don't expect him to go through it.
All right.
Now a 1-0 pitch in the dirt. Let's go down to Andre.
You know, Tito Francona was talking about Robinson Cano before the game today. He said he's a special hitter who unfairly gets criticized sometimes because he makes the game look so easy. The other thing he said was when he was in Boston, watching him in New York, he hated facing him, but he's one of his favorite players to watch. The only hope was he was hoping that he would have the flu until Monday when the team leaves here.
I don't blame him. I would hope the same thing. He's been a good player for a long time, and he does make the game look easy. And when they do that, when players do that, and there's a few players in baseball that have been in the years, people think they're not trying, and they make it look easy. You know, where it's all out because everything just comes naturally to him. When you watch him play second base, you say, come on. He's throwing a ball underhand and everything like that, and he's got an arm, and people think he's not trying.
It's misunderstood or misinterpreted as nonchalance.
Right.
2-1 pitch fouled back out of play. I've just always sort of admired that easy weight transfer he has when he's hit. It's almost like he's in a rocking chair. He's back and then just smoothly strides into the ball, and it always just seems to be right on time. And when he is on time, that's when he makes the ball go a long way.
You know, when he had all those home runs, I never looked at him as a home run hitter. I looked at him as a very good hitter. You know, hitting line drives, he uses the whole field. He hits the ball where it's pitched. And, you know, there are times when you put good swings on the baseball, they go out of the ballpark.
Like that.
Yep. Speaking of, line drive.
2-out, 2-run homer for Robinson Cano, second of the year, give him 15 runs batted in. And the Mariners get on the board. It's now 3-2.
Just the second home run for Cano this year, and it was a line shot. That's just coming off a good swing. And I want to see that pitch from Markham. That was middle. It was middle third. It was up a little bit. And Cano just hit the line drive. And it's funny, they had their leadoff man aboard the first 2 innings, and they couldn't do anything with it. Markham gets the first 2 outs here in the third inning. And then you get up a little bloop single, and you give up a blast, and it's a 3-2 ball game.
Going away, ball 1 to Nelson Cruz.
6th home run given up by Markham.
That was a really good replay and a good angle on that last shot of Cano. Just watching his rotation, how he gets his hips squared and
gets through the baseball.
I mean, wow.
Quick hands. Now you know why Tito wanted him to have the flu.
Well, and that's why when you're batting in front of them, if you can get on base, and for Smith, watch the hips clear.
Watch the foot get down. Now the hands come through the hitting area. And boy, that's picture perfect right there.
Smith broke his bat, just flared one in, but being able to do that, you get Cano to the plate, you got a chance.
Yeah, you get the guys that.
So once again, the Mariners continue to use the long ball. It's the only method in which they've scored in every game in this series. (3-2). The Indians lead it as we go to the fourth inning on another gorgeous night here in Seattle.
I'll tell you, these people in this town, they love to rake. They love to rake their ballpark, don't they?
Yeah, I think that's a little bit of an obsession.
It is here.
It's dirt, for crying out loud. Yan Gomes going to lead off for the Tribe here in the fourth inning. Called out on strikes his only time up.
Let's see if the Indians can come back and take a little of that momentum away. After Seattle with 2 outs, they strike quickly on the 2-run home run.
And a strike call to Gomes. 1-1. Chopped to short, big hop there for Miller. 1 away. Time now for a Mazda game break. Here's Al Pawlowski. All right, thanks, Al. Here's Brandon Moss. Walked and scored in the second inning. And he drives one to center right at Jackson. 2 down.
Yeah, the Angels putting a hurting on the Tigers in that series.
Yeah, Angels just a game over 500 after winning last night. Angels, Mariners, Rangers all bunched right behind Houston in the AL West. Down low, ball 1 to Jerry Sands, who clobbered a 2-run homer to left his first time up. Stairs 2-0.
Got that little breaking ball in, and it was down, and he hit it well.
And 3 balls, no strikes. Jerry has 8 hits and 19 at bats against lefties this year. That's been the primary use for him when he's been with the big club. Now the 3-0. And there is a strike. Elias has retired 8 straight since the homer by Sands. And now he walks the big guy to bring up Jose Ramirez. Grab some friends and catch a game at the new Corner Bar, which is open to all fans at Progressive Field. $13 district tickets presented by Sports Time Ohio are going quickly, so get yours today. Just log on to Indians.com/district ticket. And here is Jose Ramirez, who grounded out his only time up. He takes a long look down at third base coach Mike Sarbaugh. The 0-1 upstairs. Inside, 2 balls and a strike. And right back up the middle. A base hit by Ramirez sends Jerry Sands into scoring position. And now the Indians have 2 on with 2 out here in the 4th inning, and Jason Kipnis is coming up for the 3rd time tonight.
The Indians trying to do the same thing the Mariners did. You get a fastball down middle of the plate. Ramirez takes it right back where it came from, up the middle. Gets a base hit. That's the 4th hit for the Indians. Now Kipnis going to try and keep it rolling.
Well, both times tonight he's flied to center.
That 50th hit right here.
Strike to the outside corner. Kipnis already with most hits in the month of May by any Indians hitter since at least 1914. Passing Bobby Avila, who held the previous high mark back in 1954 when he had 47 hits. The 2-1. Back out of play. Two on, 2 out, 2-2 pitch. Nice pick. Zunino keeps the runners at first and second, and a full count.
He saved a couple of bases right there. That was a nice job. That ball was way over in the right-handed batter's box. So now runners will get a head start.
Runners go. Strike 3 called, and he knew it. So Elias gets a big strikeout to end the fourth. Indians still lead it by a run. Three-2, the Indians lead it as we go to the bottom of the fourth. We'll check out our T-Mobile game changer for tonight. San Francisco Giants have gone 21-7 with 8 shutouts.
Wow, how about that?
And they have put themselves right back at the top of the NL West standings.
Well, that Hunter Pence getting back in the lineup certainly has not hurt. He broke his wrist in spring training. And look at that. They jump right from the bottom to the top with that month. They're saying, wait a minute, you guys write us off already. We're the world champs.
Well, they've won 5 straight, but they're down 4-0 in the 5th at home against Atlanta tonight. Dodgers are beating St. Louis 4-1 in the 6th at Busch Stadium. Down low. 1 ball, 1 strike for Kyle Seager, who led off the second with a double but was stranded at third. Well, the Red Sox continue to struggle. They were blanked by Texas 8-0 tonight. Red Sox have now lost 8 of their last 11 as they've fallen 6 games under 500. Markham's 3-1 pitch. And he walks the leadoff man. Down to Andre Knott once again.
You know, the progression of Yan Gomes goes like this, fellas. If everything goes well tonight, he'll be back in the lineup tomorrow for the first game that he'll catch in back-to-back games. Terry Francona said the best thing that happened to him is when we had that rain delay back at home. If you remember, he slipped on the grass and limped for a little while. So that's the best thing that he had to deal with because he bounced back with that with flying colors, and everything has gone the way they wanted it to so far.
I remember the play you're talking about because I remember looking at it thinking, oh, man, that didn't look good. It's just a little ball that got away to the right of home plate, and he went to pick up the ball and foot slipped, and the grass was wet because of the rain earlier in the game. But it didn't look like it bothered him at the time, but as Andre said, he was definitely limping around afterwards.
Yeah.
But woke up the next day and all was well.
That was the tester, I guess. Yeah, another left-handed pitcher for Seattle tomorrow. Happ. Then he'll have Monday off to, after that, get into the swing of things.
3-2, Cleveland leads it. We're in the fourth. Leadoff man aboard for Seattle. Logan Morrison popped up for his first time up. Lines one to center. And Seager's going to head for third. Brantley's throw is in time! Erased at third. What a throw by Michael Brantley. A one-hopper to the bag, and Aviles quickly slapped the tag down. Mariners are checking to see if they want to challenge it. Lloyd McClendon was initially out of the dugout. Now he steps back down into the dugout. Still looking back to the phone. No challenge forthcoming. Brantley with a perfect throw. The only question is, did he get the tag on him? It appears he did.
Again, it's a bang-bang play that goes, the Indians' way. And I got to tell you, you don't throw many guys out on a play like that from center field. But Brantley came out and made a beautiful, accurate throw. Boy, that is close again. You get the call, the crowd doesn't like it. They would have challenged the crowd just from the way they looked at it and the replay that they saw. But that's a really big play right there for the Indians.
I guess I'm a little surprised he didn't challenge it, just because, hey, it's worth maybe a gamble as close as it was if you get that call. Boy, now you got first and third, nobody out. Mike Zunino awaits the pitch, swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. The gamble, the risk is that if you don't win the challenge, then you're out for the rest of the game.
Yeah, for Brantley, that's his fifth outfield assist, too. That one was a beauty. That's a long throw. He was going toward right center field to get it. One hopper right on the money.
Swing and a miss, and Zunino goes down for the fourth strikeout of the night by Sean Markham. 2 down.
Let's try one more look at it, a little different look as you're coming back from behind the. That's where the umpire sees it. That's his view, and it looks like it gets him on the ankle before that foot hits the base there, huh?
Yeah,
Still hard to tell.
I don't know that there's enough to get an overturn if you're Seattle, and that's probably what the replay coordinator told Lloyd McClendon. And he's probably thinking, are you kidding me?
He's
Every
done that
single
3 or 4 times in this series where he's been on the top step and he goes back in. And, I mean, every single one of them have been close.
Poor ball girl down the right field line's had her work cut out for her.
Yeah, they're hitting it past her tonight.
Every ball has been blistered down there. She can't cut them off.
She's going to have to leave her feet and dive for one because they've hit them past her.
You got to get dirty sometimes. A-0-1. Spins him out of there. Just a bit outside. 2 balls and a strike now. 2 down here in the 4th inning. The Indians leading by a run. And Markham has fallen behind now, 3 balls and a strike. Same guy he struck out in the 2nd inning. Lofton. So that pushes the tying run into scoring position. And it brings up Dustin Ackley.
Well, we told you earlier, next weekend the Orioles are going to be coming to town. So on Friday night, it'll be dollar dogs, as the Orioles will be in there. Fans can also enjoy Pepsi products for just $1. And then after the ball game, there'll be a fireworks show. So just go to Indians.com and check out the details for your tickets. Yeah, 2 walks in the inning.
And Dustin Ackley, the batter.
The Mariners still haven't scored in this series without the ball going over the fence.
4 home runs have accounted for all 7 runs in the series. And Gomes out to try to get Markham back on track here.
Goes to show you how big of a throw that was by Brantley to get the out at the first out at third base.
Doesn't seem to matter where Brantley plays. He can throw you out. 4 of his assists in left field this year. That's the first one from center. There's a strike to even the count. Front of that.
There, she stopped one there. She had to play the carom off the wall.
She's definitely had a lot of work down there tonight. Markham with a 1-2 count. Bounces one a few feet in front of the plate. 2-2. Full count. .33-year-old Sean Markham trying to work out of trouble. First time through the lineup, he only allowed 2 hits, struck out 3, walked 1. Second time through, different story. He's given up 3 hits, 2 runs. He's walked 2 and only struck out 1. And the payoff pitch, runners go, foul back. Swing and a miss. Ackley strikes out. 5th K from Markham. And a big one here to keep the Indians in front by a run. Mariners strand a pair. Michael Brantley guns down a big base runner. 3-2 Cleveland. your Northern Ohio Honda dealers. By the Cleveland Clinic. Call for an appointment today. And by the game-changing all-new Ford F-150. The future is tough. 3-2, the Indians lead it. Mike Aviles will bat for the Tribe. Aviles singled and scored on the first fly to center in the second. Upstairs. Toward right, but slicing near the seats, and no one will get to it in time.
Yeah, used to hate those as an outfielder. You got to run all that way, and you're not going to catch it. Just hits the dirt and bounces into the seats.
Breaking ball hit the third right at Seager. And he'll throw out Aviles, one away. In-game recap brought to you by your Toyota dealers. Nick Swisher with the bases loaded and one out on the first, hit a sac fly to right. Got Mike Aviles home from third. Then Jerry Sands with a 2-run homer in the second, made it 3-0 Cleveland. But in the third, Robinson Cano, a 2-out, 2-run homer, a laser beam line drive shot to right. Cut the gap to 1 run. Michael Brantley takes lone away ball 1. Brantley sends one to right field where Nelson Cruz makes the catch. 2 down. Enter now for a chance to win a trip to the All-Star game on Fox for you and 3 of your friends. Upload photos to foxsports.com/Fantastic All-Star now through June 3rd. And that's only a few days away. So
yes, it is.
Time running out.
Tomorrow, the last day of May.
Ryan Rayburn.
First 2 months of the season.
Yeah. 1/3 of the way through. To right field. Cruz is back onto the track and he makes the catch. Indians go 1-2-3 here in the 5th. It's still 3-2 Cleveland.
for the best perks, including savings and access to Tribe Rewards. And today's Tribe Rewards TV code is Feller. Visit Indians.com/season tickets for complete details.
Austin Jackson will lead off the bottom of the 5th for Seattle. He singled in the first, grounded out in the 3rd. And he checks on a pitch that's in there for a strike. Jackson to center field, and Brantley is there to grab it, one away. Well, last inning, the Mariners threatened to maybe tie the game or take the lead, but Michael Brantley short-circuited a potential rally by throwing out Kyle Seager, trying to go first to third on a base hit to center. And then Markham was able to get a couple of big strikeouts.
He sure did.
To end the inning.
Boy, that throw was huge because that was the first out of the inning. It would have been first and third and nobody out.
And an off-speed pitch dips in for a strike, 1-1 to count on Seth Smith, who singled and scored in the 3rd.
Yeah, he scored after the Cano homer, but he flared one to left field, broke his bat. With 2 outs and nobody on. Kept the inning going.
That's low, 3-1.
Bunt, baby, bunt. Bunt.
You hear the fan yelling bunt. That's because Mike Aviles has moved out towards second base. So the left side is completely vacated.
Well, he's not going to bunt. He's thinking home run.
Takes a strike, full count.
Well, maybe not on that pitch. He was heading out of the box on his way to first base. Markham gets the call. It's now a full count.
And now the payoff pitch. Lazy fly to left. And Ryan Rayburn with a fine running catch, 2 down. Robinson Cano back in the 3rd inning. Got a pitch that he absolutely hammered. Line drive, home run to right field. Just his 2nd home run of the year. Bounced it to first.
Gotta love that inning.
And a 1-2-3 5th for Sean Markham as the Tribe maintains a 3-2 lead.
bobblehead day. That'll take place June 6th. The Indians will take on the Orioles. 17,000 fans get Kluber's bobblehead. It'll be courtesy of Sugardale. Get your tickets at Indians.com.
Nick Swisher to lead off the 6th inning now. He drove in the Indians' first run of the night with a sac fly. His at-bats from this side of the plate have been much better than batting left-handed. One ball and one strike. Play down the right side. Is taking a little too much time to get the call, the sign, I should say. So Swisher steps out. That breaking ball, did he offer at it? No, says Alan Porter. And it's 2-2. Full count. Swisher, Yan Gomes, and Brandon Moss here in the 6th. For Cleveland, it's a 1-run Indians lead. And he draws a leadoff walk.
Leadoff man on base. It's a 4th walk for Elias.
Up comes Yan Gomes. Called out on strikes in the 1st. He grounded to short in the 4th. Takes a fastball for a strike. Back to 0-2. Seattle doesn't seem to employ many of the shifts or anything really exotic.
Just a couple to the left-handers, Moss.
Yeah. But for the most part, you see their alignments, they're straight up. Boy, Yan Gomes, 3 pitches and 2 of them he didn't swing at. Looked like pretty good pitches to hit. And it just gives you, I guess, an indication that
it's about picking up the baseball.
Still trying to get into some kind of rhythm.
Yeah, he must not be seeing the baseball very well at all, because he does look confused at the plate. Elias, a guy that, you know, he can throw the double play ball. He had 23 double plays last year. He has 5 in his 6 starts this year. This being start number 7. But now here's a little shift for Moss. And I'll bet when we get Santana back here, you'll see one for him too.
Yeah. Moss fouls it back out of play. And remember the other night, Moss had a single that was just to the left of second base.
Yeah,
that beat
that's
the
right.
short. Wilhelmsen getting loose for Seattle. Elias just south of 90 pitches. And this is outside, 2-1. Moss drives one down the right field line. That's into the corner. Swisher around second on his way to third. And Sarbaugh will hold him there as the ball comes back into the cutoff man, Robinson Cano. Indians at second and third with one out.
Well, Moss smoked that pitch. That's his first hit tonight. He's been on twice. He got a fastball in there and that he turns on. And he gets it down into the corner. And it looks like McClendon's coming out, and it's going to be it for Elias. Swisher coming around second. He would have had no chance of scoring there.
So Roenis Elias goes 5 1/3 tonight. He's allowed 3 runs on 5 hits, responsible for the 2 aboard as he departs. And the Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen will be for right-hander Tom Wilhelmsen, who will be coming on when we come back. Elias unhappy with his performance tonight. It wasn't awful, but it was very, I don't know what do you call it, just so-so. 5 1/3, 5 hits, 3 runs, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts.
Yeah, he walked 4 guys. The big hit was the home run he gave up, and they were down 3-0. His team came back in. He wanted to get out of this inning, but he walked the leadoff man, Swisher, after coming back getting Gomes. And the big double by Brandon Moss, it sets up this inning here for the Indians to come back and add on in the middle part of this ball game, and it's going to be David Murphy.
Tom Wilhelmsen, 9th appearance of the year, 1.69 ERA. He's punched out 14, and only walked 3 in his 10 2/3. And the try will go to David Murphy to pinch hit for Jerry Sands, who had a 2-run homer earlier. Murphy's been one of the Indians' best pinch hitters. Well, he and Ryan Rayburn in that platoon role have both been called upon to pinch hit a number of times.
Yeah, 4 for 14 with 2 dingers, 3 ribbies as a pinch hitter. The Mariners playing the infield in to try and cut off the run, and with Swisher running at third, it's a good chance they could do it too. They don't have to play in on the grass.
Murphy, a line drive, base hit, right field.
Beautiful.
Swisher can score. Moss coming around third will be stopped there as Cruz comes up looking for a throw to the plate, but doesn't need to make one. And the Indians' lead is now 4-2 as David Murphy delivers once again in the pinch. His 5th pinch hit of the year. That leads the team, and 4 RBIs as a pinch hitter as well.
Well, this is going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. Murph gets the job done. With that infield in, you just try and get a ball. You don't have to hit it hard. You can see he gets it over the infield. He gets the 1 run in. Moss is able to go to third base, so it makes it a 4-2 game. That run will be charged to Elias. How about that? 5 for 15, 4 ribbies.
Now Jose Ramirez takes outside ball 1. Ramirez a single to center his last time up in the 4th. Brandon Moss is at third base with 1 out. So important to try to squeeze that 1 more run in here. Ramirez with a ground ball to second. They go to second. There's 1. Back to first. A double play ends the inning. The Indians do get a run home. Swisher scores on the pinch hit RBI hit by David Murphy. 4-2 Cleveland. From the rooftop of Safeco Field, David Murphy stays in the game. He's in right. Now Arcia in the driver's seat. Nelson Cruz 0 for 2 tonight, 3 for 10 in the series. And he is having a fantastic year so far. Swing and a miss. Sean Markham, though, knows that is a pitch he has long been susceptible to, and one that is tough for him to lay off. One and one. Nelson Cruz, his bat, he nicknamed it the boomstick, which is what they gave away to the fans coming into the game tonight. And it's also the nickname of that ridiculously decadent hot dog that they serve down in Arlington, Texas still. How about that? Bring a sign. He autographed it for him. 2-1. To center. Brantley has room. And Michael puts it away. 1 away in the 6th. Next month, the Women's World Cup begins as Alex Morgan leads the U.S. Women's National Team against the best in the world in search of their third World Cup title. The only place you can see the 2015 Women's World Cup is on Fox and Fox Sports 1 beginning June 6th. We got a timeout for a pitching change. Sean Markham goes 5 1/3, and he'll leave with a chance to win it here tonight. 5-2 Cleveland. 4-2 Cleveland, excuse me. So Sean Markham out here with one out in the 6th inning, and the Indians in front 4-2. Markham has only made 90 pitches tonight, but with back-to-back left-handed hitters coming up, and the fact that they had 2 hits and a walk in their 4 plate appearances, Terry Francona decides time to go to Mark Zipchinski.
Zipchinski, 25th time coming into a game, and he's got the 2 left-handers, so we'll see what he can do. But I'm sure, looks like Shaw's up for, or is it McAllister?
Yeah, McAllister.
Yeah.
First ball swinging down the right field line. Extra bases here for Seager. He's on his way to second. And he will stop there with a 1-out double.
Well, that didn't take long. One pitch comes with that little sinker inside, and Seager's waiting for it. Drilled it down the right field corner. His second double of the night. So Zipchinski on for probably one more batter right here in Morrison.
Morrison singled his last time up. And a big chopper to first base. Moss backing up. He'll flip it. Zip kicks the bag, turns, checks the runner. Seager's at third, 2 down. And we will get a pitching change as Terry Francona steps out of the dugout. He wants the right-hander. It will be McAllister, who will be coming on to face Mike Zunino with 2 outs and a runner at third here in the bottom of the 6th in Seattle, with the Indians leading it 4-2. 4-2. Indians on top. New pitcher is Zach McAllister. McAllister will be facing Mike Zunino, who has flat out struck out tonight. Righty-righty matchup. Zunino has good power. 7 homers this year, 6 doubles. And he represents the tying run at the plate.
Zunino, a guy that he will chase. He's chased a number of pitches in this series, breaking balls down and away.
First pitch, chops it to third. Aviles can set and throw. Got him. So the inning is over, and the Indians still maintain a 2-run lead as we go to the 7th.
Visit mykiacleveland.com to learn more. By Levin Mattress, located in all Levin furniture and freestanding locations. And by AT&T Uverse, has more channels on the go than cable.
(4-2), Cleveland on top. 7th inning. New pitcher for the Mariners is lefty Charlie Furbush. And Furbush this year has pitched in 19 games with 4 walks, 7 strikeouts. Has worked a total of 11 innings, and the opposition's only batting $128.
Yeah, I mean he's only given up runs in 1 outing out of his 19, so he's done a really good job this year of keeping the game where it's at.
Kipnis is coming up to lead off, Rick. Here we go. 50 hits, 30 runs in a month. He needs 1 of each to join this very exclusive club. These are the last 8 to do it. How about the bottom 4? Iron Man Cal Ripken, Rod Carew,
77,
Tony O,
65,
Hank Aaron.
Hammer and Hank. Yeah, 56, 65, 77, 83. Wow.
No doubt Derek Jeter will join that group. I mean, he's a potential, not a potential, he's a future Hall of Famer, slam dunk.
Yeah, biding his time.
All right, so Jason Kipnis to lead it off. 0 for 3 tonight. I'll tell you one thing, too, about Kipnis in this month of May that has been so torrid for him. A lot of it's been done against left-handed pitching.
You're right. You're exactly right. It doesn't matter. When a good hitter gets into a groove, it doesn't matter left-handed, right-handed. When he's seeing the ball, you just hit.
Well, he's 0 for 4 so far tonight. And up comes Mike Aviles, who is 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored. I like the fact that Jason isn't shying away from it, invoking some odd sort of superstition by, I don't want to talk about it, I don't want to talk about it. He's saying, yeah, I want to get it. I want to get that 50th hit. I think that's great. But at the same time, we also know that I think, you know, when you are thinking about it and you want it, sometimes you want it so badly that you don't relax and just do what comes natural.
Look, we're making the big deal out of it. He's just going out and playing, you know, and everybody's bringing it to his attention the kind of month that he knows he's hot and he knows he's swinging it. And he's played every inning of every game for the Indians. And you know what? His time's going to come. He'll get a little rest here. But, you know, he's going to have the rest of today and tomorrow to deal with it.
Out of play, right side. Tight one tonight. 4-2. Indians lead it. Hits even at 6 apiece. Orioles fights it off to the right. 2-2. Mark Lowe getting loose. Hard throwing right-hander. I got a feeling that we would see Lowe should Rayburn get to the plate here in the inning. Weekly tap to second. And a flip to first by Cano. You watch Cano throw, and it looks like a little flip, but he generates some pretty good velocity with that flip. I don't know how he does that. It doesn't. It makes my arm hurt just watching him do it.
I used to watch him when he would go to his right towards second base and grab it and just like flip it underneath. Yeah. And get something on the throw. Not an easy thing to do.
Brantley's 1 out of 3 tonight. And he turns away. It's over the corner for a strike. Did not go around, and the count 1-1. A ball and 2 strikes with 2 down on the 7th. Brantley is rung up and the inning is over. The Indians go 1-2-3 and we've reached the 7th inning stretch. Brought to you by Spitzer Auto World. Big moonshot.
Yes, indeed.
4-2, Seattle trailing it as they come to bat here in the bottom of the 7th, and it's the bottom part of their lineup: Brad Miller, Dustin Ackley, and then the leadoff man Austin Jackson. Zach McAllister got the last out of the 6th inning and fires a fastball into Brad Miller. Indians bullpen is quiet. Swung out and missed. A little tardy on that 96-mile-an-hour heater. We've been seeing Markham all night long. He throws around 84, 85, and all of a sudden, a little extra giddy up here.
Yes, indeed.
Chops it. Fair ball. Just inside the chalk. And Miller with a gift double to lead off the 7th inning.
Boy, that ball just, it had to go right over the bag. He beat it. That thing couldn't have been about a foot or two out in front of the plate, but it stayed fair. It landed fair. Gets down into the corner, so they'll have their leadoff double. That is their 7th hit and their 3rd double of the night.
And now you got Dustin Ackley 0 for 2. Has struck out twice.
This is a big run for them, even if they, they don't rally. This one right here with the leadoff double.
Base hit in the center field. That'll get the run home. Dustin Ackley with his first hit tonight, 2nd hit in the series, makes it a 1-run game.
Well, that didn't take long for him to get it in. One pitch from McAllister, and he jumped on it in singles. Gets his 10th RBI, so I was thinking about moving him over. And he got enough of it. He got it to the right side of the infield, but he gets the bonus. It gets into the outfield, and a run comes in to score. So it's a 1-run ball game now.
Tribe will get the bullpen active as Mickey Callaway goes to the mound. Austin Jackson will be the batter. We got a pair of left-handed hitters due to follow, so left-hander Nick Hagedorn is getting up. It's only the 7th inning. But Seattle, what they've done quickly. And, Rick, I go back to when the Indians went to Mark Zipchinski, who came on to face Kyle Seager. Seager swung at the first pitch.
Right.
And then Logan Morrison made an out on, I believe it was the 2nd pitch.
Right.
And then Mike Zunino came up facing Zach McAllister, new pitcher. First pitch, swung. Boom, here, come out early, get after it early, and that's the theme here all of a sudden for Seattle.
That's the first run they've scored without hitting a home run in the series.
Yeah.
That double single situation right there, so they didn't have to hit that one out of the ballpark to score. They manufactured one.
Now low, ball 1 to Austin Jackson. 1 out of 3 tonight, 3 for 11 in the series. A lot of those numbers compiled while McAllister was a starter. Out of play right side. Double play ball to second. Kipnis bobbles it. They get one there, and that's it. So run away, and Jackson at first.
Yeah, that was a double play ball that Jason Kipnis fielded it cleanly. Once he bobbles it and it comes out of the glove, they're not going to turn it with Jackson running, but that is a perfect double play ball.
Looked like it just ran up his wrist.
Well, they're going to get an extra out in the inning. See that ball? He just hit it. It did. It hit him in the heel of the glove, and it goes up, so they can't turn the double play. And that, if they don't get a double play here, will give the Mariners an opportunity to get Cano to the plate in the inning.
Seth Smith 1 out of 3 tonight. Takes a strike. Quickly, the count is 0-2. Smith blown away by McAllister, 2 down.
Boy, he wasted no time, did he? He came right out of the chute. 3 pitches. 2 on the inside, and throws this one by him. He did not mess around. That's a 4-seamer right by you. So that's out number 2 in the inning. 1 to go.
Now, even though he had Nick Hagedorn up in the bullpen and appears to be ready, he's going to go with McAllister to face Cano.
Yeah, probably because of the on-deck hitter.
I was thinking the same thing. You got Cruz right
then
after
you got
him.
the left-handers after that. So he has obviously Hagedorn ready for Seager. Hopefully it doesn't get that far. McAllister can come out, and that unturned double play ball doesn't come back to haunt him.
One-run game now here in the 7th. And out of play to the left side. The 0-1, runner goes. And a foul back out of play.
He had no chance there at getting Jackson. He had a tremendous jump from first base, but Cano liked to pitch and he fouled it off. He would have stolen it easy. You could see that head down. He had 5. He's peeking back to see it, and he sees Cano foul it off. See, good base runners, when they take off and they try and steal a base, they will peek back to see what happens. That doesn't necessarily mean it was a hit and run. They want to know what's going on. They want to pick up the baseball. So after you take about your 3rd step, he knew he had a great jump. He was just peeking back. Now would be another good time to go if you could, if you're Jackson with 0-2, because that's the kind of pitch you're going to see to Cano. You know, you're not going to go right at him with a good fastball unless you throw it up and out of the strike zone. And then that way, even though he is the tying run. And I will say this, though, the Indians have done a great job of throwing out base runners so they can stop them in the series. You know, what have they thrown out 3 or 4 base runners in this series? So that'll make you stop right there at times. And Jackson's been caught twice. Again in the 1st inning tonight, both last night and tonight.
Runner goes, and another foul ball. by Cano.
Yeah, Cano now has to protect it and worry about his at-bat. And it was in off the plate, and then Jackson again had a very good jump, but that's a good pitch.
Hit right field. Jackson will go to third. And now McAllister has to face Nelson Cruz with 2 men on base.
Well, there's a little breaking ball slider down, and Cano hits it, and he able to pull it in the hole. Down to 2 strikes. Jackson can go to third base. So they have 3 hits in the inning. And again, that brings up the big boy here. And then you look back and it's that double play that was unturned that is extending this inning. The ball off the bat of Austin Jackson.
So here we go.
Yes, he had a couple of chances in the first game of this series to do some damage or tie the game up against Kluber. Kluber was able to put him down twice in that ball game on strikeouts. Now it's up to McAllister to get this third out of the inning and preserve this 4-3 lead by the Indians.
Outside ball 1. Many in the crowd received a boomstick Nelson Cruz bat when they came to the park tonight. Up high 2-0. Missed again. 3 balls, no strikes.
Not that he's going to be swinging, but you don't want to just throw one to get a strike here.
Paints the outside corner.
Yeah, that was a heck of a 3-0 pitch there. He didn't spin off that one. He went right through it to his target.
Throw it there again.
Well, I'm sure he's going to try.
That's outside.
That was a little cut.
So the bases are loaded.
Well, and he's going to be gone.
So we got a timeout with the bags juiced. Indians leading it by a run, and Nick Hagedorn will be coming on when we come back. hits, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. He's responsible for all 3 on base here in the 7th inning. Nick Hagedorn. Will he be able to rescue the Indians from potential doom here in the 7th? Kyle Seager will be the batter. Seager is 2 for 2 tonight. He has doubled twice.
Yeah.
And the last time was off the left-hander, Mark Zipchinski.
And he jumped on his first pitch, looking for that fastball in. I don't know if he'll do that here in this situation with Hagedorn because he throws a lot harder. Oh, nice pitch. A little cutter. Didn't come at him with a fastball. Come back, and it's, you know what, Matt, it just seems like they're all starting to throw cutters now.
Yeah.
Everybody on that staff.
Works for one guy, well, man, maybe it'll work for me, and it just kind of trickles down, doesn't it? Seager tomahawks one high and foul out of play down the right side.
That's what he was looking for first pitch, that straight fastball at 96. And you see, he was ready for that one. So now Hagedorn in the driver's seat.
The 0-2. Swung out and missed. He struck him out with an off-speed pitch. And Seager. And the Mariners go down to end the 7th. They leave them loaded. They do get a run closer, however. 1-run game. Of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Stay tuned for Indians Live, presented by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. Coming up next here on Sports Time Ohio, we're going into the 8th inning. Mariners go to Mark Lowe, right-hander out of their bullpen, making his 11th appearance of the year. He's given up 1 earned run in 10 appearances. Indians will counter with a pinch hitter. Michael Bourne, left-handed bat, will hit for Ryan Rayburn. Then Nick Swisher and Yan Gomes due up.
Yeah, and he hits Bourne here because he'll go into center field and you'll push Brantley back over to left for your defense in the outfield with a 1-run lead. And I got to tell you, what a job Hagedorn did coming in out of that bullpen with 3 pitches. He didn't mess around.
Michael Bourne smacks the first pitch to center, but Austin Jackson runs over to make the catch. 1 down. Yeah, I'm not sure we've seen Nick Hagedorn look better, at least this year. I mean, that was.
Well, you come into a tight spot with the bases loaded, and it takes 3 pitches, and you're facing one of their premier hitters. It was a beautiful sequence.
Nick Swisher drove in the Indians' first run tonight with a sac fly in the first. Indians had the bases loaded with 1 out. Then he walked and scored their last run of the night in the 6th inning. 1-1 to count. Just inside, 3-1. Mariners do employ the exotic shift for Swisher from this side of the plate. Ripped foul, broke his bat. Full count. From this side of the plate, Rick, Nick is a 9 out of 46. From the other side of the plate, he is 9 out of 32. So the batting average looks a lot better, but the reality is hits are equal.
Yeah.
9 both ways. Just a few more at bats from this side of the plate.
Well, it looks like he stays on the ball more from the right side of the plate than he does from the left.
Everything seems to be dead pull this side, whereas the right side he'll use more of the
he'll stay back on it and use more of the whole field. Right, like his first at bat today for the sacrifice fly. Yeah. Nice line drive to right center field. You know, we witnessed him doing it last year, and I know he had some bad knees, but you know, a couple of times when he goes that way from the left side of the plate, he can hit that ball to left center field and hit it well.
Mark Lowe, payoff pitch. Strike 3 called. 2 down. Swish airs his grievance, and that did look low, I gotta admit.
Yeah, it looked like it was down and out of the strike zone. Pitch tracks had it down, and I agree with him. He's got a legitimate beef.
I mean, that was an obvious frame job by Zunino. Most catchers that get those calls are very subtle. That was a...
Well, even if he framed it, it was still low to begin with, going past his leg no matter where he catches the ball at.
Jan Goff swings at the first pitch, sends it sky high to shallow left. The shortstop Miller makes the catch. Indians go in order. We go to the last half of the 8th. 4-3 Cleveland. The Indians are leading it. Michael Bourne in the ballgame now. He's in center. Brantley goes over to left. And Nick Hagedorn stays on to face Logan Morrison. Now you got the right-handed hitting Zunino next, and then a pair of left-handed hitters after him. So be curious to see what Terry Francona decides to do. He's got Shaw up in the bullpen. Hagedorn on 3 pitches retired Kyle Seager to end the 7th with the bases loaded.
Yeah, and on 3 different pitches: a cutter, a fastball, a curveball.
Yeah.
There's the phone ringing, so we'll see what happens.
Missed inside ball 1 to Morrison, who is 1 for 3 tonight.
Maybe they call down there and say, hey, if a runner gets on, we're going to come out and get you. If he doesn't, then tell him to cool it.
Shaw's ready. He'd been throwing.
Well, let's hope that Nick comes out here and throws the ball like he did the last 3 pitches and finds his zone.
Right field, long run for Murphy, but he's there. 1 away. So Terry and Mickey talking it over in the dugout right now, and here is Terry. He's going to hold his ground, and he will stay with Hagedorn to face Zunino.
Cutter, strike 1. He was looking for this pitch there, that hard fastball, and then he drops the hook on it. 3 pitches, bases loaded, no big deal. Ho-hum. I'll tell you, that was really a nice sequence by Nick Hagedorn. 3 pitches, get out of there. And the big pitch was strike 1.
And now a pitch up high, ball 1 to Mike Zunino. Cody Allen has now joined Shaw in the bullpen. And that tells you how badly Terry Francona wants this one. He might go to Allen for a 4, maybe 5 out save, depending on how this goes. To center. Bourne got a bad break on it, and it drops for a hit.
Well, they're playing a little deeper, too. So that one's going to fall in. Zunino didn't hit it all that well. I don't know if he hit it off the end of the bat, but he bloops in. He gets the hit. Check it out. That's a fastball off the end of the bat. And you watch where it lands. It just didn't have the carry to it. And Bourne was playing a little deeper.
So 1 on, 1 out. Brad Miller, the batter, doubled and scored in that 7th inning.
That double went right over the third base bag. That ball hit right out in front of home plate, and it just bounced down.
Popped him up on the infield, and here is Moss in foul ground. 2 away.
We're going to get a pinch hitter here for Ackley. Ricky Weeks.
Ricky Weeks is batting .188 on the year, but he's 4 for 12 with a homer and 7 RBIs as a pinch hitter.
Well, out comes Francona. He's waiting until Weeks is announced, and he's going to go make his move and bring in the right-hander. Let's see if it's Cody Allen, which I believe it is.
So we've got a timeout. Cody Allen will be coming on with 2 out in the 8th when we come back. Indians Live, presented by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. It's coming up next here on Sports Time Ohio. High drama here in Seattle. The Mariners threatened in the 7th with the bases loaded. Nick Hagedorn got out of that jam. And Hagedorn gets 2 outs here in the 8th inning, but he leaves with a man on base when Seattle manager Lloyd McClendon went to his bench for Ricky Weeks, who leads the league with 7 pinch hit RBIs this year. And so Terry says, let's go to our closer, Cody Allen, to see if he can give us a 4-out save tonight. Weeks, overall, not real impressive with that 188 mark. Cody misses up high, ball 1. Catapult. Now Allen ready with a 1-1 pitch. Good job of laying off. That's a tough slider away, but it's now 2-1.
Well, the one good thing, the base runner is Zunino, who is the catcher at first base. You don't really worry about him stealing a base. And the defense can play a couple of steps deeper. Try and cut anything off in the gap and get it in. Keep everything in front of him.
2-1 pitch. And a strike called. Ricky Weeks had 3 straight years from 2010 through 2012 in which he hit 20 or more homers. In 2010 he had 29 and drove in 83, then 20 and 49, then 21 and 63. The numbers have declined rapidly since. The 2-2 pitch.
He
Did
went
he go?
that
He
time.
did, says home plate umpire Jeff Kellogg. The crew chief rings him up, and the inning is over. We'll go to the 9th in Seattle. 4-3 Cleveland. It's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. And in the second inning, it was Jerry Sands time.
Sure was. Picked on a little breaking ball down and in, and hit it out into the bullpen over the 376-foot sign. That was a big 2-run homer. Made it a 3-0 game at the time, and that was in the second inning.
And now Joe Beimel, left-hander, on for Seattle. He's the third lefty to work tonight, including the starter, Roenis Elias. Bottom third of the Indians order due up: Moss, Murphy, and Ramirez. Willie Bloomquist now into the game, takes over in left field. Seattle will shift 3 to the right side of the infield for Moss. And he takes outside, ball 1. Seattle has actually out-hit the Indians like 10-6.
Yeah.
But the Tribe's still clinging to the 1-run lead. One called on the outside corner to even the count. Series finale tomorrow, 4 Eastern time, as the Indians and Mariners say goodbye for the time being. Outside 2-1.
Yeah, the Mariners will be back in Cleveland June 9th, 10th, and 11th.
So it'll be pretty quick.
Close up our homestand before we go to Detroit and Chicago. So they'll finish their 11-day homestand here.
Awesome bouncer to first. Big hop. Morrison grabs it and does beat Moss to the bag. Barely.
Well, he was going to flip it, decided I'm going to go to the base, and then he thought he might have made a bad decision. He had to slide because Beimel was over at first base. He could have flipped it, but then he says, nope, I'll take it myself. So he has to slide to get in there, and he does clip the bag to get him.
And so with 1 out, here is David Murphy. Murphy right now has the biggest hit in the game because it was a pinch hit RBI single that gave the Indians their 4th run.
Yeah, infield coming in, and he gets the ball and just gets it over the head of Morrison. Swisher comes in to score, and that right now is the difference in the game.
Outside, 3-0. Train rolling by, horns blaring. Jose Ramirez waits next. Upstairs, ball 4. A 1-out base runner for Jose Ramirez now. Ramirez bounced into a double play his last time up, and that was a big one for Seattle because the Tribe had first and third, only 1 out, and a run was in the inning. They had a chance to really open this up. Just inside 1-1. Missing by much, but he's out of the zone. It's 2-1. Lloyd McClendon has a right-hander in the bullpen, but I got to believe he's going to be staying with Weimel. We got Kipnis on deck, left-handed hitter. Strike call there to even the count of 2-2.
Take a look at this pitch. At the plate, Ramirez didn't offer, called a strike.
And the 2-2. Murphy was running on the movement. He is going to be out at second base. Take a look and see if the foot got in there.
Well, he had, when I saw this last night, he can throw to first. He goes up there slow sometimes.
Oh, he got him, yep.
Yeah. So you're just guessing that you're going to go on first movement, but he decided to throw to first base.
Pop back. I think that, it's interesting on that look with Weimel, that foot didn't look like it went straight to first base. It looked like
his knee bent towards but his foot, I don't think, went past the rubber. If you can watch it, I don't know if you'll see it on this angle. See where his knee bends a little bit going in? I think that's what fools you. Check it out at a different angle. Watch this. Watch the knee. See if his foot goes past. It didn't really go past the rubber. His knee did.
Boy.
But it looks like it's
close.
Yeah, I know it is. It isn't close, but I saw that the other night. It looks weird.
Two down and the 2-2 pitch. Foul down the left side. Almost 2-2 to center field, and Austin Jackson has it. The inning is over, and we'll go to the bottom of the ninth with the Indians up a run. furniture, shall we?
Yes, we shall. They did get the runs early.
Yes, they did.
That's always a good sign for them.
Markham gave up a 2-run homer to Robinson Cano, but that was it. Got out of a little hairy mess in the 4th inning thanks to a fine throw in center field by Michael Brantley, and he struck out a couple of hitters. Top of the order for Seattle. Slow ball 1. Outside corner evens the count 1-1.
Well, he'd love to have a clean inning because should anybody reach, you know who you have to.
Run at first, not in time. Jackson beats it out, and the tying run is aboard.
Well, you knew when it hit the plate out in front of home plate, it was just a little too high for a guy like Jackson who can get down the line. Aviles did everything in his power, get himself ready. He's got a very good arm. Look at that ball. Like a super ball bouncing off the plate. That was high in the air, and it's just enough time for Jackson to beat it out. Infield single. So there's your start to the ninth.
Second bad break of the night for the Indians with regards to a ball that bounced weird. Brad Miller, same thing in the 7th inning. Chopped one in front of the plate, went for a leadoff double.
Leadoff double. He was able to come around and score, but now you've got a little speed over there at first base, although he has been caught a couple times.
Seth Smith 1 for 4 with a single and a run scored. And a fastball up high. Good pitch in there for a strike. Go to first, keeps him close.
Their chances tonight. They've left 9 stranded, but in the 7th they left the bases loaded. They left one on in the 8th. And they have their leadoff man aboard now in the 9th.
Right field, Murphy on the run, makes the catch, and Jackson has to quickly retreat to first base. That had them up out of their seats here at Safeco. Off the bat, it looked like maybe it was going to be in the gap, but Murphy ran it down.
He had a nice jump on that ball. Murphy, and he's going to his glove hand side as it's going into the gap. Look at him. He was off and running, and he just runs it down. So that is out number 1. Ball hit on the nose, but Murphy shags it. Gets it back in, and now we'll re-rack it. And you have Cano.
Seattle this year has 3 walk-off wins at home. What's interesting to me is that in 1-run games at home, Seattle is 6-1 on the year.
Yeah, 13-9 overall.
Indians on the road are 1-4 in 1-run games, so trying to hold on to only their second one-run win on the road this year. But they'll have to go through the tough guys to get it. Cano and then Cruz, unless they can get a double play to end it here.
Cody's doing a nice job of holding the baseball and keeping Jackson close, getting rid of it quickly, giving Gomes an opportunity.
Time was called and the pitch sailed high anyway.
Well, that's what happens when you hold the ball to stop a base runner. Sometimes the hitters are going to call timeout.
Now we're ready. And a pitch right back up the middle, off the mound. Ramirez grabs it, steps on the bag, and the game is over. The Indians hang on to win it by a final score of 4-3 as Cody Allen walks the tightrope and nails it down. It's his 11th save of the year. And this one of the 4-out variety. It's a little tougher duty for Cody here tonight, but he gets it done. And Sean Markham gets the win to go to 2-0. Losing pitcher will be Roenis Elias, and he is 2-2 on the year. With the win, the Indians go to 23-26. They've won 2 out of the first 3, with the finale coming tomorrow. And the Mariners fall back a game below 500 at 24-25 on the year.
Well, you got to like the way that ended. The double play ball, you don't even give Cruz a chance to